Hello and welcome back to some Sims 4. As you can see, the kitchen is a little further along than I planned for this next recording. But it was Sunday night, well, Sunday evening going into Sunday night, and I had a couple White Russians, and it was like I just wanted to relax, so I decided to come in here and piddle around, and next thing you know, the kitchen's done. As you can see out here, the hallway is pretty much done. And I started on the living room. But I figured, I'd go ahead and do a little tour here. So this video is going to be more about touring than building. So without further ado, we will get started here. Now, the kitchen, you saw me pick out the countertops, and I was really having some trouble when I was building with the light colored wood, but I ended up really liking the way that it turned out. It kind of, like, we're going for dark, but we don't want to go, like, too dark. Like, you need some stuff. I know he's a murderer, but come on. So, I believe the rug might have been different last time you guys were here. I changed out the rug for just a dark square. We're in the kitchen. And, it's probably going to be like a dingy rug, but, we're living in an old colonial house. The maid will come and, scrub it or whatever it needs. That was my phone. Sorry about that. So, we got our coffee pot here. We have our knives. When you're a murderer / cook in your kitchen, you need some knives around. We have another, these are cooking, chopping knives. These are more steak knives, probably, for when company comes over and you want to, cut their steak or stab them, whatever works when you're living in a colonial house and you're a murderer. Now, the pans are a little wonky looking over that window, I'll admit. But when you zoom in, look where it's bolted. It's bolted just on either side of the window. So I thought it was perfect. Like, it fit there perfect on over the window. And it doubles as, security. Nobody will be breaking in through that window, I guarantee you. That sucker's bolted into the brick wall. You ain't getting through that. You can go through this window, but this window, no go. Now, as you saw me build earlier, if you've seen earlier videos, this guy's a bit of a drinker, so of course I had to put some wine in the kitchen. When you're cooking, you need to have wine close by. That's true for most people. Let's be honest. We got a little spice rack here, so you can spice up your food. Now, the window layout isn't perfect, I'll admit, okay? It isn't perfect, but I wanted a window to look out of while you're doing the dishes, I actually really enjoy that in real life, so, I figured I'd incorporate it in this house. This window's a little behind the fridge, but, we're just gonna ignore it. Microwave, because everybody has a microwave. Well, I think everybody I know has a microwave. We got the stove and the vent here, so when you're cooking, with these tall ceilings, you don't want to get it all smoky up there, so you just suck that stuff right out. So this is pretty much, you guys saw this, the counters and the stove and the appliances going in. But over here, we have some new things. I was playing around with the half walls. Oh, and these candles. Let me get to those candles in a minute. New favorite item in the game. As you will definitely see, as you can tell, I started putting them everywhere. But, over here is just a little breakfast nook / we have the grand dining room, but come on, you're only going to use the dining room. If you have a dining room, you'll realize you only are going to use it during Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate throughout the world and your family gets together. That's when you're going to use this huge dining room, and you're going to get all the china out of the china cabinet. I don't know, we never used our dining room except for when family came over for holidays. So I figured, he needs a little breakfast nook where when there's only him by himself eating, or, he has somebody over eating, maybe a date, there's 2 wine glasses here and an empty bottle of wine, so it looks like the date went pretty well. candlelit dinner. You know, he may be a murderer, but you know, don't say he isn't fancy or, you know, snazzy here. He gets the job done. So we have our little breakfast nook over here, complete with candlelit dinner and all. I decided to put a little, you know, a little array of plants back here. It needed something. Okay, it desperately, it was so bare over here when I just had the little wall to make the nook, but it needed something, so I put some plants down, and I really like the way it looked. Let's put the walls up here so we get the full effect. We have this nice big painting that you can look at while you're eating over here. And I figured, you know, if this is where him and his date are going to sit, you know, what if the conversation gets a little awkward, you know? What if you can't think of something to say? So we put this wall of interesting conversational pieces together. You know, if it gets awkward, you can look over here and be like, oh, let me tell you about the time I won this trophy for weightlifting, which, you know, maybe he just bought the trophy off eBay. Who knows? You know, you can buy trophies off eBay, people. You can do that. Don't always trust people when they just show you a trophy. Make sure their name's on it, which I'm pretty sure you can get your name engraved on it. But anyway, so we got a bottle and a ship up here, you know, a dog statue, a quill. Maybe he was a writer at some point. You know, scrolls in a glass enclosure. I know I would ask about that. That would certainly be something I would ask about. You know, a bottle of the good stuff, of the good sherry. On our little nook wall here, we just have a nice glass vase, 2 candles to kind of set the atmosphere of the room, plus give a little light. This door obviously goes into the dining room, and we just have a little rug in front of it. We have 2 of these potted plants. Over here, again, our guy likes his wine, so we have a good selection of dark reds and a decent selection of, it looks like really white wine, really light colored wine. Maybe they're sweet, you know, fruity wines. You know, if you're having a date, you know, you never know what they're gonna like. You need to have some choice. So this is the kitchen. It turned out really well. I actually love it. I would love to have a breakfast nook like this where I could just come over here and, you know, eat and read. You could read in this corner with all this moody light, you know. These chairs. I downloaded these chairs ages ago and never found somewhere to use them, and they were just perfect. They fit with kind of the plant decor and the dark wicker. It just, I don't know, I felt like it was perfect for this little spot over here. And our wall of conversational pieces is kind of fun too. That was a White Russian idea that I had about 3 White Russians in, and it was like the wall's so blank, like it needs something. So I figured if he's luring people over here to, you know, murder them, you know, when you're having dinner and things get awkward, you need something to talk about. So there's a whole wall of things to talk about. So that's the kitchen. Really like it. I like all my little touches I put in. The breakfast nook, the bolted on pans over here. Now I get to show you the entrance hall. And let's just peek down here like we're going through the door. When you first come in, you're going to see... Now, the entrance hall isn't done yet. I need to add some art to the walls. I was kind of looking in the Sims resource to see if I could find some stuff. Everything I want to use is very repetitive. I feel like I've already used it somewhere in the house. So I've been looking for some new art or kind of wall hangings. No luck quite yet, but I will figure it out. Can I, like, minimize this? Is that a thing? Oh, there we go. That works. So it's not totally complete, but when you walk in, you have this nice big rug, the same one we have in the kitchen, you know, probably on sale at IKEA or Home Goods or Tuesday mornings, whatever he has around. The suits of... Please get out of my way. The suit of armor, we got one on either side, kind of catty corner in the corner over there. So they're kind of watching you as you leave the house. If you're lucky enough to ever leave this house, you know, they're going to watch you leave. I decided to go with the double doors. You might be able to notice that I expanded the hallway by 1 square, maybe 2 squares. I don't remember. I expanded the hallway wider because I couldn't fit everything I wanted to, so I made it wider. The kitchen and the living room and all these other rooms are the same exact size. I just, took the middle of the building and spread it so I could fit more in. Because I really wanted to do, like, this centerpiece in the middle of the room when you walk in. So I thought that was nice. We have another expensive vase over here, It's not a vase, it's a vase because, it's probably worth $1 million. We have a coat of arms hanging out up here. I'm going to use that in the hallway somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be there. If it's going to be over here, there'll probably be an identical one on the other side. We have some kind of schmancy little statue. I figured it kind of fit well. Over here, we have this mirror that I found that I've never used before, I don't believe, and I love. It looks very good in this room. And we have just the 3 growing plants underneath of it. They, get bigger and bigger. This wall is a little blank, but we will fit it with something. And as you go down the hall, I want to save the best for last, but you have a little ottoman you can sit on. Maybe you're coming over and you have a meeting with him. You're talking about, who knows what, the new wines that are coming into the store or something. And, you sit here and wait. We have some apples if you're hungry. They're probably fake. They look gigantic. We just have like a little, I don't know what, I think this is actually a light table lamp. Yeah. To me, it just looks like some kind of odd and end you would pick up at a resale shop or a garage sale or an auction maybe. So I put it in here. I thought it fit with the room. Black swans, very foreboding. Some candles just sitting on the wood. Probably would never happen in a house that I own, just bare candles sitting there. But it kind of fit, so I liked it. We have some family photos. Maybe these are, he has a microwave in the kitchen, so I'm assuming these photos are his ancestors, maybe. Great aunts, great grandmothers, who knows. Pictures that have been passed down from family member to family member. We have an old trunk sitting here. Just something maybe he picked up, and it looks really good in here. I like the color of it, the style of it, just fits very well. We have a bookcase, so if people are waiting out here in the hall, grab a book. If I lived in this house, I would probably read here all the time. As you can see, we have a fireplace, and above the fireplace, we have the creepiest picture I have ever found on the Sims resource ever, and it just fits perfect. You walk into this house, and the first thing you're going to see when you look down the hallway is that creepy-ass picture. And, like, if that doesn't tell you to get out of this house as soon as you walk in it, then I don't know what to tell you. You probably deserve to be caught in this house if you walk in here, see that painting, and you're not like, nope, I will wait outside. We can talk outside. But I don't know. That picture creeps me out on so many levels. Again, we just have the knickknacks, the candlelight. I love these candles. I'm going to be showing you those shortly. A picture of the map of the world, a map of the world. We have these 2 sofas here that he probably picked up at auction or something. We have the green marble fireplace, which I love. I hated it when I first put it in here. It looked god-awful. But the more I built around it, we put the green urn on it, probably his mother's ashes, something like that. And then I put in these orange sofas, and they really went with this kind of gold outline in the fireplace. And I think it just looks really good now. Please get out of my way. I think it just fits so well with the sofas and kind of the map on the wall. It all came together. I wanted to keep the floor dark. I wanted it to keep that dark, foreboding kind of, it drinks all the light in the room. So I just went with 2 dark rugs. They are 2 rugs. As you can see, there's a seam in the middle, but, when you zoom out, you can't even see it. It just looks like one big rug. And that's how I choose to look at it. We have some firewood over here, so when the fire goes out, you always have some logs. Some books that he might have been reading, sitting on the couch down here. 2 candelabras for some extra light down here, and they just fit the atmosphere of the room very well, in my opinion. We got your fire pokers and your ash sweeper and whatnot over here. And, he's a drinker, like I said. So he's got, the glasses and some brandy and, maybe that's some whiskey next to it there. And, he's got his whiskey glasses. So, when he entertains and you don't all want to watch TV, you just want to talk. This is where you come for talking and, drinks by the fireplace. And I don't know, I really love this hallway. I think it fits the house perfect. I love this hallway. I love the paneling. I love the flooring. I had a lot of fun building this hallway. Like I said, I kind of got into the groove of building, and one thing led to another, and the kitchen was done, and the hallway is pretty much done. There's a few more odds and ends that need to go in. And I started on the living room. I figured, the living room doesn't have to be so dark and damp, My phone going again. Let me just wrap this up. So, started on the living room, started on the library as well, and look at this creepy ass table. That will definitely be used in the library. Got some other things I plan on using in it. But yeah, that's the living room. This is the hallway, the entrance hall. Very creepy, very dark. It sets the mood to the house. As soon as you walk into here, the rest of the house is going to be creepy. And, the kitchen is actually pretty inviting, if you want some wine, if you just want to have a 2-on-2 dinner, there's a perfect place for that. Of course, we have our formal dining. I added the candles in here, and it sets the dining table perfect. So yeah, that's where I'm at on the Nightmare House. If you enjoyed this little tour, please leave me a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see some more building in The Sims, and I will see you next time in the Nightmare House.